The Adventure is Nigh plushies are here!
Hey pals, wanna see my new knives?
Look out, adventurers! It's the evil wizard, Mole Cutpurse!
Not so naked and defenseless now, bitches! Take this!
He's tough, but we can beat him with the power of friendship. And violence!
Each comes with their own weapon with action magnets in their weapon in hand for action holding power!
Mull this over.
Victor, my trusty henchman. I need help. Wait, I don't have a henchman.
But you do have a shit perception score. Crikey.
Adventure is Nigh plushies with action magnetic weapons, each sold separately or as a bundle from Second Wind. No assembly required, batteries are pointless, must be 21 or older to purchase a drink from Buka. Adventure is Nigh plushies do not move on their own. If they do, call a priest. Ask your parents' permission before nothing. For a grown-ass adult, you can make their own decisions. The Adventure is Nigh Club is not responsible for any injuries sustained while adventuring.
Now we're here. Hey, everybody. Welcome to RPG Help Desk. Yeah, how are y'all doing? We're here to answer questions about RPGs because we love RPGs. Because the person I have on again to talk about them is RUN-DMG. Hey. It's been more than a few. I feel like it was 2025. I do believe.
Few months.
Oh, I had you muted. I thought I unmuted you, but I guess I didn't.
Oh.
So,
Well, hello, everyone.
why don't you do a little introduction, as if people didn't know who you were based on what you said earlier?
I am RUN-DMG. I also go by Ryan. That's my meat space name. I make all sorts of content online. I do little skits. I do sometimes informational things. And I talk just about funny tabletop RPGs. Dungeons and Dragons is probably the thing I play the most. But also do a lot of charity stuff. I actually have some charity stuff coming up.
Yeah.
In May. I'm doing some work. So free tabletop it's not free tabletop RPG. Sorry, I got in trouble before for saying this. Free RPG Day has joined forces with Doctors Without Borders, and they're trying to raise a bunch of money for their emergency relief fund. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, and a lot of work that Doctors Without Borders is trying to do. So, and they've partnered up with some really cool tabletop RPG creators and the people that run Free RPG Day. So it's going to be a really exciting event. We're going to basically doing all of May and almost all of June. Technically, the event ends on Free RPG Day, which is June 27th.
Wow.
Which, if you were unaware, you have opportunities to get really good free RPGs if your local game store participates. They've got, They got some stuff for Pirate Borg. They've got some stuff from the Tales of Adventurous crew. They have... Oh my God, there's so many choices and now I'm blanking on it. Oh my God, they've got stuff from Paizo. They've got stuff from Dispel Dice. I don't know why I'm floundering so hard. I was just thinking about this in my head. But they have a bunch of really great tabletop RPG creators, old and new, that are putting together starter kits, either little starter kits, adventures, or little cool doodads to play around with. They have minis, dice, all that stuff. So it's a really fun opportunity. Your local game store, if they're participating, should have at least some of those things, and they should be free. Sometimes they are linked to hey, if you buy an RPG, we'll give you this free thing. Sometimes it's just free to grab. But you should definitely check it out, see if your local game store participates, and if you enjoy the stuff, maybe give a little money to Doctors Without Borders.
It's a good plan. You should. Any way you slice it, that's good stuff.
It's more spiel than I was planning, but I'm good. I think it went okay.
Amazingly, all that was in the short portion when he was muted. Who would have known?
Definitely did not talk about it. It was in the brief interlude of not being heard, and then being oh, I can be heard. Oh, I do have a thing to talk about, actually.
Memory jostled.
But yeah, if anybody's curious about what might be available, you can check out. They have a website, freerpgday.com. Let me double check that, actually. That'd be really good if I just it's freerpgday.com.
Hey.
You can see all the people that are participating. Lots of really cool stuff going on. Goodman Games, Limathron, MythWorks, Paizo. The Marvel Multiverse game has been part of it for a long time. Renegade Game Studios. Talsorian Games has got some stuff. The Story Engine, WizKids got a miniature that you can snag. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I highly recommend free RPG day, wherever you are, whatever's happening, check it out in your
Yeah.
area. Really great way to like also get familiar with people in your area, the local stores.
Mhm.
Like you also get cool stuff. Can support Doctors Without Borders. Again,
Yeah, I went
a lot of
went
good.
last year and I was able to snag it's so like they have to buy kits. The local game stores have to buy kits, and occasionally like they might buy one kit, they might buy like 20 kits. So if you have a big game store near you, they might have like 20 kits, and there's like a good opportunity to get like I got like 20 free RPGs, like starter kits and
Wow.
adventures that I'm still like mess around with and play. So it's really cool.
That's really neat. Yeah, highly recommend. But today we're gonna spend probably about an hour because we have things we gotta do, so it'll be a little bit shorter than usual. But it's quality over quantity is what we're doing today.
It is.
So good answers only is the plan.
Dang it. You should have brought somebody else.
Good answers only attempted is what we're doing.
Yeah. I'll attempt to do some good answers. I promise nothing.
A few people with some questions in chat. Thank you very much. We will get to those, but I have one. Also, Churney Adventures. Thanks for the raid. So hi to you and all the raiders. And Incarnadine, thanks for gifting a raid to them. Gifting a sub.
Nice.
Dang. All right. Well, words, they might work today. We're all gonna find out.
All right, what's the first question?
First one I am from the Discord is someone that was here a little bit ago, and that they just started playing. This is like they've run 2 games with the group, and a third one's coming up. And they have a question of, I've got one player who really wants to be there and play, but she's struggling massively with the roleplay aspect. She chose the rogue equivalent class and enjoys the gameplay of sneaking around the table and stabbing stuff and whatnot, but can't seem to inhabit her character like other players. How can I help? This is coming from the DM.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Especially because it seems like they want to participate in that way, but are maybe having difficulty. Usually the question is, I have a player that really likes to show up, really likes to play, but doesn't like to role play and like engage that way. So it's interesting. My advice is very similar though. It's a muscle. Like role play, like play, I think is a muscle. Like especially it's a thing that atrophies as you become an adult. Like you're just not used to imaginative play the same way that you were when you were like 10 years old on the schoolyard and everybody's like playing, like robots and aliens or whatever, which my friends actually did play. I think we were really into Transformers at the time, and then another set of kids was really into like the Alien movies. So like I think it's one of those things where you give small opportunities instead of like, and also maybe just having a chit chat. Like, is it like something where it's really hard to kind of like just come up with stuff off the fly, or is it when everybody like the spotlight shifts to this person and then it's all on them? Is it like a like freeze up type of thing? Because if it's one of those things where they're having a hard time just coming up with stuff on the fly, no matter what really the situation is, give them small stuff to work on. Or it might be a good opportunity just to kind of like, it might just be one of those things where they like their character, they know their character, but it's like really hard to like understand your character sometimes. And like, what would they do versus what I would do? So maybe just having a small chit chat about that, and then giving them small opportunities to do things that kind of build. So instead of just putting the entire spotlight on them and waiting until they're finished, give them something small to work with. Like, oh, you're a good example of this is like, oh, you finish picking the lock. What's like maybe a funny thing that your character says? And so it's like encapsulated. They come up with one thing. And if it's not like, even if it's not funny, it is kind of funny because it's not funny in this situation. Like you're kind of like building the character a bit, but it's like bounded. So it's not this big open space.
Yeah.
That I think that, and then it's just like, keep on working with them. Just give them little bits, build up their confidence. And then, like the strong silent type is an archetype for a reason. And it's because like you may or may not have a lot to say, but if you're trying to be cool, sometimes it's easier to kind of like withhold a bit. And then I had a player that actually canned lines. They would write them out beforehand
Oh,
and they would bring
absolutely.
them out for certain situations. That's something you can do too. And that helps you build the character out in your mind. And then by the time you've gone through a couple of those, now you just understand what they would say in a given situation.
Oh yeah. If the character has, and I don't know if this is the case, but yeah, I think canned lines are great. I've had
Yeah.
characters that like just a list of insults of like, all right, I can break this out when I need it, and then like a situation will happen, I'll write a new one down and just have that little list. That helps a lot, having something you can fall back on. For
Yeah.
to kind of piggyback on part of what you were saying for like low stakes, small things of what do you do, having like non-initiative where it's
Mm.
like, oh, you're doing this thing, okay, everybody, what do you do, you, and just go through the
Yeah.
table, and everybody has to say what they are doing, and like
Exactly.
give them the opportunity to just, hey, this is your moment. Like
Hmm.
it's not we're waiting on you, it's not, oh my gosh, if you don't do the right thing, it's just, yeah, we went to the shop, what are you going to look for? Like just something, we've
Yeah.
entered this place, what's your plan?
Just giving it some bounds, just a
Yeah.
little bit of bounds, so it's not like, hey, here's this great open space, do literally anything in it. It's like you're kind of giving them a
Yes.
prompt, and you're giving them kind of an endpoint, and they just need to bridge that gap instead of wherever they are to wherever they can imagine themselves to being over here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, is those bounds. Like, because
Mm.
part of that uh inability to kind of react or act as a character can be from like, but I could do anything. Like that there's that
Literally, yeah.
decision, not atrophy, the decision
They call it like
paralysis.
analysis
Yeah.
paralysis. Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, but what do I do? Like, all right, little situation. Here you go. Um
Exactly.
I also think a big thing is when they do something, reward the effort, even if they do
Yeah.
not succeed in the way they wanted to.
And I think even on top of that, I think even if your like one liner doesn't hit the way you want it to,
Hmm.
that is a character trait just as much as anything else. Like
Oh yeah.
your character being like bad at one liners or saying off topic stuff, like that's like there's examples of that in books and movies that makes them an interesting character that's like different than other ones. So I think never be afraid to like take a leap with a character and
Hmm.
never like push back like, oh no, actually your character, like as a DM, never push back like, no, your character would actually say something very like pithy and like it's like, no, like maybe they are a little bit of a goofball.
Oh yeah. I'm that's of failure is often even more fun than success. Like if you have like, oh,
Exactly.
I want to do this thing and I didn't do it well, great. The story moves forward in an
Yeah.
interesting way. Um, so yeah, I guess also that might be a thing that they are struggling with too, is that fear of failure. Um,
Mhm.
like showing that failure is not a problem. It is not you don't let people down. You don't end the game. People aren't mad at you. Um, and to that also, just talk to her, ask like, hey, I you are like, you want, I know you want to get back. I don't know what exactly the conversation they've had so far, and I know they said they wouldn't be able to make this, so maybe the mentions in the chat, but it's like letting them know like, okay, well, how have they said I'm struggling with this directly to you, or you are aware of it, can kind of change your tactic, but saying, hey, what can I do, what is something you need, and like,
Yeah. How can I set you up better?
yeah, and like adding some of that to it, and asking more about their character if it's a problem of like, yeah, they're not fully aware of what their character would do, giving them the little, not necessarily a personality test, but like asking them questions about what their character
The
would
Myers
do.
Briggs.
Yeah, not that one, but yes, like some good questions. A big thing of the superhero game that I'm currently playing on Thursday evenings is like, we've built a city that was just lines on a map. And then we would say, oh, well,
Mm.
here's a character. And the DM would be like, hey, who's another superhero you know? And I'm like, oh, Rosary, a nun that dual wields pistols. It's like, perfect. What's where she operate. Like, oh, okay, here. What's this area called? And like we built out over several weeks that, and we all feel much more comfortable because of that interaction with each other and like building something out. So something like that could help a lot.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, Rosary.
Oh yeah, I had that was I mean, to my own horn. I had a thing of like I want that as that's like my favorite. It's like archetype is the nun with a gun. It's delightful to me. And so I was like, I have names, but I don't want them to be her actual name. So it was Mother Superior Firepower, and
That's pretty good too.
yeah, and Mary Magazine was the other one. And those are like the names people call her behind her back.
That one's pretty good too. Mary Magazine is pretty good.
It's also very much a comedy game.
Yeah, it's pretty perfect. Actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was most of my notes on that, and I can't ask if that answers. Do you have anything else you want to add? Of
No, I think we hit a lot of nails on the head with that one. There's I think it's pretty good.
Cool. Well then, I will put this in the chat as like a little summary. I will also feel free to tag me in Discord. Hopefully when you hear this and keep me updated because I'm glad that your game has been going well so far, and I hope it continues to go great.
I'm always glad to hear that like games are taking off, especially like new players, because I feel like if it can make it past the first game, I think it's like when it's you have a pretty solid shot to at least play out an adventure. It's when after the first game you have like a bunch of people that just don't like schedules weren't exactly what they said they were, or like, oh, I thought I might like D&D, but I in fact don't like that. That's after the first game is when you usually get a lot of that.
Yeah, when your reality sets in versus the expectations, and you're like, oh, this is what it is. And for some people, that's great. Like for me, going into RPGs, I was like, oh, I think it'll be like this, and it wasn't. And I was like, oh, I love this. That's not the case for everybody, and also not the case depending on the game you're playing. Like if you're playing like a very combat heavy game and you want to dick around and make silly nun puns, like, well,
exactly, yeah. Some people like a 24/7 combat simulator, and I've played at those games before, and I tolerate it for the most part. Like I'm not angry at it, but if you give me like a wide open space and like a lot of fun, interesting things to like role play around, and like other people that are also like really interested in role playing and like doing fun stuff together, sky's the limit. I'll eat that up all day.
Yes.
Yeah,
love it. All right, another question we have from John in the chat. It says, what is the best way to handle situations where players completely misinterpret obvious clues? Example, I had a spy from country A have his letters read, but players think he works from country B. As a
kind of funny.
as a chronic misinterpreter, this sounds relatable.
I guess it depends on how. No. If you have something.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, let them be wrong. Like, let them assume it.
I was also saying it really depends on how long. Like, if they, I think there's like a 15-minute window. As you're explaining everything, they've read the letters, and then like after they read it, like, hey, is this like a clarifying question? I'll answer completely. I will not like obfuscate or like, oh, what's up? What do you think it is? Especially if it's supposed to be like a very clear cut clue. That being said, if it's like 4 weeks down the line and they're like not even asking me about it, they're just so sure about it, it might as well. And like I'm not going to correct it. Like it is what it is. And then I think it's really up to you as the game runner on whether or not they believe it to be true. And if it doesn't super duper affect your story, is it change anything for it to be true? Or do you keep that in your back pocket for a surprise reveal later down the line? Because when it shows that, you know, in the example given, when that spy does something out of character for country B, they're like, wait, that's maybe he's a double agent or something like that. You could play that off. Or you could be like, no, he's been working. Like, you could slam the piece of paper on the table the entire time. Be like, no, you just read the letter wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think there's a wrong solution here.
yeah, because you can. I enjoy a lot of like I give players clues, they interpret it, and as long as it's not like I can't handle this, I'm like, yeah, let's work that angle. But if it's more of a this is a deep conspiracy the DM has built and it needs to be in these certain areas. Country A needs to do this thing. Country B is doing that other thing. Then like, yeah, let them be wrong and like make that part of your story. Like where they come to someone in power of like, we've got evidence, and then they're wrong, and like have them lose some face, have something bad happen, have a, you know, maybe they have to quest to like regain their reputation or something.
They need to take a media literacy class.
Yeah, also that.
No, yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer. Like, you could make him a double agent. You could just go with it. I think it really depends. Like, it truly does depend on how integral to the plot it is. Like, if you've got like a really complicated web, like a conspiracy board of a bunch of red yarn going over the place, then maybe you do need like another piece of paper that they come across that's like even more obvious.
Yeah.
Then you can do that. This is one of those, this is like a champagne problem, because this is as much of a fun thing to jump off of as it is like a problem, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Unclear or unnuclear also backing you up, saying, yeah, sometimes the obvious thing to you, the GM, isn't obvious to players. Very much so.
It's also true, yeah.
Because it's the same thing like if you're doing a lot of writing and editing, like where it's like you wrote words with thoughts in mind.
Yes.
And like, but you can't see them without those thoughts. Like just the order of them will trigger something in your head, and everybody else that reads it isn't getting that. And
it's like the difference between the director and an actor. Like, you've got full access to the script, and we're in the room when it was written, so you have like the little in between bits that like aren't on paper, like between the margins. But an actor who's reading it cold, that has no real connection to the script, may not have read the book that it was based off of or whatever, is trying to piece it together and build their own motivation. So they're going to grab onto anything they can, right or wrong, to try and be like, this is what I'm doing. So yeah, you always, I'm a big proponent. You just got to put, if you think it's one of those things where there's like one clue, put like 5 clues.
Yeah.
It's always overdue clues, because once they get it, you could just stop giving them that clue.
Right. And move on to something else.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question? Let us know, because look, we're here to do a good job, so hopefully we will.
Of course. There's a couple of questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move to the next one. Let us know though. There's always the delay too, and then I know like not everybody's just poised at their computer like I will answer immediately. It's like, this is second screen. You're at your job. We're playing a game. Like, I understand. So while we're waiting to hear back from that, John Arbuckle had a question, which I'm very curious about your answer to, and I feel like this has some meat to it too. I want to know how to replicate a big battle like Helm's Deep in a D&D setting. Please help. That's tough.
I've answered this question before.
Actually. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, give us the spark notes.
I had a viral TikTok because of this one. The key, like, if you want to replicate Helm's Deep, I think initially your thing is like, well, I need a million things going on, and they have to be involved in every part of them. But when you think about when you like watching the movie, you see these big overarching shots that show scale, and then it zooms right back in
Yep.
to your main characters doing XYZ, and then it zooms back out, showing like how they affected the fight, and then it zooms back in and then doing more stuff, and then it zooms back out and back in. That's what you have to do. So you set up the scale, showing like all these things fighting, and then you zoom in on your players and what they're going to do. And like I view it as like a big set piece more than anything else. And then you just give them options. You can have, and then really it depends on how nitty gritty and like technical you want to get. You can just have that be purely like a role play background that's happening,
Mm-hmm.
or you can have like, depending on what you're using and what you're familiar with, you can have a clock that is basically running down depending on their actions and successes in combat and things that they're doing that are like pushing one side forward versus the other. You could have like an HP gauge for an army as they're doing things. But really what you have to do is you got to show that scale, bring it in on them, give them like a handful of options of things to do. I actually, some of it might be combat related, some of it might be more, because like if you going back to Helm's Deep, it wasn't all combat. They were doing things like organizing the fighters. They were like, barricading doors. They were doing like a little stealth mission to basically give a brief respite so a door could be repaired. They were doing all of these things. The combat was in the mix, but it wasn't necessarily like them in the middle of a giant battle killing everything they can see. So that's that. So how I would do it is you set up the big scale, show what's going on, and then if you really want to start out like Helm's Deep, you can give them like organizing actions, like who wants to be in charge of the archers, who wants to be in charge of like the cannons or whatever, depending on how your setting is, catapults, cannons, big artillery, who's going to be like inspiring the troops, all of those things, so that while like the actual siege is happening, they can be affecting the action. And also you can have the wizard just be like throwing out fireballs and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
counter spelling big spells, empower them to do stuff. And then when like say a wall breaks or something like that, a scripted event is going to happen and it's going to zoom back on them, and then you give them opportunity. Are they doing melees effectively, trying to like find and this is basically up to your creativity, like you give them a bone to chase, like are they going to go for the general? Do they need to make it through waves of oncoming soldiers to basically cut the head off the snake? Is there a timer of some sort where like maybe y'all are casting some big meta magic spell and you just need enough time for it to pop off to like protect everybody? And that's the part that really comes onto the GM. Come up with an interesting thing that brings up the stakes, that forces them forward, but then just like keep on zooming in and out. Like show the scale. Like when they do something really impressive and cool, zoom out a little bit, see how that affects the fight at large and how that's maybe tilting the tide in the favor of whoever they're working for. So there's a lot of preparatory things you can do for that so that they feel like they're involved and like engaged, and also have like maybe a connection to the army that they're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Then zoom back in on their personal reactions to certain things and like how they could be barricading doors. They could be, there's just so much stuff that can happen. But just my biggest thing is like, just don't lose focus that this is like a very personal, this is their story. It's their
Right.
personal story. I feel like when you talk about like big battle rules, sometimes it's just like, oh, what we're going to do is instead of you being your character, we're going to give you control of like a meta unit that's like 500 soldiers, and your HP is each soldier, and then it just breaks up into this big war game. D&D does not function well as a war game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thing. Just make it personal, make it gritty, make it like this big bombastic thing that your players are having like an effect on. Like I've run big siege combat stuff where there's like combat, but most of it is something called a skill challenge, where there's a bunch of stuff going on in the background, and then we go round robin, basically like, this is the setup, you've got an ability, like you have a chance to use one of your skills or like burn off a spell, something like that. What do you do in this moment to like create an opening and an advantage for the army? If they succeed, whatever they're doing, like it pushes a clock forward a little bit. If they fail, they have so many successes they have to hit versus so many failures. If they hit the failures first, it fails, a big consequence happens.
Yeah.
And then that might just be more fighting, or it might mean that like a lot of people die. There's a lot of ways you can mess with it, and I love big battles. They're really fun. But if you want like a rip roaring swashbuckling action scene, you got to make sure that it's like it's focused it like it focuses in on the characters, goes out, focus in, goes out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have any advice.
A ton of that, absolutely. I agree with everything you're saying. I feel like that is very important of the keep it personal. Like you don't.
Yeah.
Helm's Deep is the good battle it is because we want to know what Gimli and Aragorn and Legolas are doing in that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also fascinating on how you zoom out. I feel like that's a big thing of that. Like pull out, all right, back in. You are one person. You are on the top of the wall and you're going to defend your spot, but you can look around to see what's happening and you can have things that affect it. Like you're saying, and letting that be like a visible thing. I think that the ticking clocks of like, you need this many successes and this many failures. And if you really want to stack odds, that's a thing that you can build out before even the big battle of like, oh, you need 6 successes and 6 failures. And that's like, oh, turns out that thing that you didn't do earlier helped them out. They now only need 5 successes and you still need 6. And it's like, consequences of my actions. What are you doing here? Like having that so you can kind of tip the scales and make it feel, or they can, and then, like having them move space also be a little more loose with where it's like, how did,
I don't even use a map for big battles. I mean, there might be like an idea of a map, but like, stuff needs to be wherever it is. And I feel like especially with something like a big battle, like you want to know, oh, here's the castle, like here's where the people are, but in general you just be like, is there a trench here? It might not be on the map, but let's it's here. Like let's not, this is a reference, not like a set thing,
right?
Because whatever the idea comes from, I just wanted to be able to like yes, that's perfect. There's like a big mound of dead bodies here, that's what you need for your like thing that you want to do. It's there now. No, big dungeon, big battles are so cool, and I feel like they get done wrong so often.
Yeah, I feel like the kind of what I've seen done more times, and that it's easier for me, and that I like is like the roll kind of thing for what's happening. You can influence the roll, but it's like, you rolled high, cool. You see the battle kind of leaning in your favor. Oh, you see. Now, it's leaning against you. See, they're actually they broke this part of your barricade. Problem. Not immediate. They're not going to just come flooding in all of a sudden, but it's like that is an issue for you now. That is a further problem. Like, all those little things adding up to make a big battle while still feeling personal.
Yeah, I think the thing to remember is that your like, all things said and done, your characters, the characters that are fighting, are like the X factor. They're like, this battle truly could go either way. I mean, it really depends how you set up. Maybe it is overarching odds, but like they are truly the X factor. You want to demonstrate that whatever they're doing is exactly what has to be done. Like the saving grace at that second. Whenever they fail, it's a tremendous failure and there's huge consequences. But when they succeed, it's on the flip side of the coin where it's like, oh, you aren't single-handedly fighting this battle, but your actions have huge ripples, especially when you think about like just the average soldier. It's going to be like a CR half, maybe a CR 1, and then depending on like your character's level, they could be like level 10. They might as well be like demigods. So like when they do stuff, people like, it has huge impact. So I guess that also depends too. Like if they're lower level versus like higher level, if this is like an intro thing that's happening in the back, like, the setup for your campaign, or this is their true Helm's Deep and this is like midway through the campaign.
I'm with it. Does that answer your question? Because I want to know. Because I think it was an excellent answer, but I'm not the one who asked it, so I don't want to speak for other people. So do let us know. Armed Karma, gives $10. Thank you so much. And wanted to ask, has either of you ever done a time loop campaign? I was thinking of running one, but not sure how to go about it. What challenges do you think might occur? Have you? Because I have run time loop games.
I haven't run it. I've been in one though. So yeah, you go first.
Oh, sick. Following up with another question from someone else who has a question we'll answer later. Yeah, I have done not a full campaign, but like the first, I think the start of a campaign was a time loop. And so it was, the short version is a chronomancy wizard was like, I'm going to rob this bank. All I have to do is put myself in a time loop, try it as many times as I need to. I will eventually do it correctly. And when I get it done correctly, I will end the spell and walk away with all the money. And it'll be great.
Perfect.
Unbeknownst to them, of course, the players get stuck in the time loop and are reliving the same day over and over until they eventually figure out what's going on. So a thing is like, what resets at the time loop of a thing of what challenges do you think may occur? What resets? Like, do you want them to just be keep their memory because that makes it, possible to do the time loop scenario, or maybe one player, if they want to, doesn't keep their memory and the party just has to keep explaining it to him, be like, no, just trust me, this, you told me this was the key word that you would get to believe you, so we gotta try to be like, all right, cool, I guess so, like, if that, but otherwise everybody remembers. But yeah, what resets? Does like all their gear reset, health back up to full, any death, any disease, anything like that? Know that beforehand, because that's something your players might experiment with. I know mine did, and it was very fun. And like, what can transfer? And keeping track of, like, another thing is, okay, well, you can't have an entire town built out for like what everybody's schedule is, but keeping track of, okay, the players are going to want to know about these specific people and what they're doing. Have something in mind of what they are doing and how for you to keep track of that, because that's a very important part of the time loop. What's your experience with it and thoughts?
I think time loops are, I don't know if it's like a holy grail of like game mastery, but it's definitely one of those, like, everybody tries it at least once, because like Groundhog Day is such like an iconic piece of literature. It happens so much in other like books and movies and TV shows and mangas and stuff like that. The time loop, I was in it, and it wasn't that it wasn't unfun. It was actually a pretty good adventure. I do think at a certain point, it just like after the first couple of loops, when everything is new and like explained, and like everything is new and like everything is a new clue, I think it works really great.
Yeah.
It's that there's a middle portion there where it really does, I think it's in the middle where it breaks down, because it's like, okay, we've done everything that we've considered to be of interest and we are still missing something. And then it becomes an Easter egg hunt of like, all right, now we have to hit every single place because there's must be something happening here in a place that we didn't think was interesting. Like in ours, I think it was like there was a temple. There's like, none of us were like clerics. None of us had any real interest in the gods, but this was a god-based adventure. So we had to go to the temple. Like there was one of the, like, the god of like reality and time was having some issues and became like a big like point. And then once we found that out, things started to kind of happen. But there was like kind of a middle space there where it's like, do we just do some of this stuff over again to see what we get away with? Like, so yeah, that it's tough. It's not impossible, and it can be fun. I think maybe making the time loop, make it more obvious than you think it should be, and making it shorter than you should think it could be, because you can always add in stuff. If like maybe have a few things you can add in to like zest it up if they do feel like you're going like way too fast. But I feel like it's one of those things that it's cool and novel until it's not, and then it's like, okay, let's restart the day. Okay, we can talk to these person again. Well, we may get them to trust us, blah blah blah. So that'd be my advice: is make it a little shorter, make it a little more like pithy, I guess you would say. Just like get straight to the core of it. The interesting thing of like, is only one of the player characters like in the time loop, or is everybody else outside the time loop? I think that's funny. That's a funny like narrative device too,
Yeah.
because then you could like like what's the key word that I would only say to somebody in this situation? Like that could be good role play moments.
Mm-hmm.
And those are things, and I think this happened, I think, in the Adventure Zone, where they basically started setting aside portions of the day where it's like, we know that you do X, Y, and Z, so we're just going to get rid of that. So I think
Yep.
realizing at what points you do those things, so you could just like jump to the thing at hand, might be good as well.
There was I had two things on that, and that was one of them. Of like, if you've done a thing, like you never roll for it again. Like,
Yeah,
it was the
just no.
the Mothership time loop game that I got to be a player on was like, if we did a thing, cool, we now know how to do that thing, and it was something we could breeze past. It still took time, but it was not a, oh no, will we fail? We know how it works. We know what to say to this person. We know how this machine works. We move forward. There was two things, and I thought they were both very important, and I forgot the other one. So, bummer.
memories funky.
Yeah, that's why I have a notepad up to write stuff down, and I didn't, and that was a mistake. Oh, I remember the other thing. This is very important. To your point of it gets, oh no, now what do we do? You need to be ready to just drop those hints. You've got some of them ready, and then the moment players seem confused, new information. Bam, it's there. Now you know where to go. You know what to do. You know what X means. That is immediately something that dramatically adds to or changes the situation in their favor, or so that they can understand it better.
Exactly, yeah.
Being stuck in that loop isn't fun.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuck in the loop. You don't want the middle, because like there's a reason that Groundhog Day like skipped the 900 years in the middle and just was focusing on the beginning and the end. Those are the most interesting parts, because it's new. Then the middle, it's just like, okay, it's now old, and then by the time he gets to the end, he has like mastery. He's effectively become God in his domain.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the parts you really want to focus on, is like that the beginning, like everything is brand new. You're learning, like the whole cycle is like new itself, and then at the end where they kind of like understand the cycle enough that they can like do interesting things and affect change in a way that they probably wouldn't be bold enough to try if they knew that like they could die if they do come back at the end of the loop. All
right, well, Armed, let us know if that answers your question. If not, we'll try again. And while we go on,
I think a nuclear had a question.
Yeah, says, for reasons I want to run an RPG for about 12 people. I had an idea of running 2 groups and having adventures take place one after another. It'll be an OSR game. Any helpful ideas? Yes. Looking like you're ready.
Bold. Well, no. You got something.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, this is bold. I've run a table of like 8 people before. I will never do it again.
Yeah, I think I had one game that was 11. Like it was at or close to double digits. And yeah, it was nuts. First thing is, everybody needs to know the rules. Like if you have a group that big, turns will take a decent amount of time, even if everybody knows the rules. If people are asking for clarification, if they haven't read up before, if they haven't, you have to know the rules, or people will just fall off because you will just have so much downtime. That is I would say that would be a requirement to playing that game for your players.
Yeah. No, that's 100%. They said that they had the idea of running 2 groups, which will make it easier. And I've seen this done at Adventurers League. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with Adventurers League, but it's kind of like the official Wizard of the Course, like open, drop in, drop out style play, where I've been at some local game store where they had multiple groups running the same adventure, and like they would be affecting one another. Like they were basically effectively at different levels of the dungeon. So as a big fight was happening, like on the first floor, the people on the second floor would be hearing about it. And if there's stuff that like fell, they would like find it. So it's possible and really cool. The other problem is there's only one of you, so you'd
true.
you'd have to go back and forth between tables. And if you're running them different chronologically, they can't really affect each other the same way. Only one is affecting the other. So what you have to do is kind of set it up at like different times. Maybe one group, either they're doing like completely different things in a similar space, and by space I just mean like country or something like that, world, or like chronologically they're also separated. Like there's group A and group B. Group A is like going around doing stuff, and then group B just happens to be in a similar space and gets to deal with all the after effects of group A. And then you can switch off on that occasionally, going back and forth. I love OSR. So depending on the system, it's not like the worst thing in the world to like teach new players. Like Old School Essentials is pretty good. At least it's better. It's better written and like more clear than the actual like BX and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really cool, fun concept. But yeah, I would just separate it out. And the only problem is if you're running on just this more the HR side of things, you're running two separate groups, potentially in the same week or opposing weeks, you're doubling your chances of all of the things that normally happen with a campaign happening, which is people not showing up or like the game getting canceled. And then if one game gets canceled, your whole shtick is that it's affecting the other one. Like, what do you do? It's tough. I would almost say that like doing and this is still a lot of work. It doesn't make it that much easier, but doing like a text-based Discord campaign would be a good way to do it. Like doing a West Marches style where people can just like pop in, interact, and you can kind of like make rulings throughout the day might be a good option. I don't know if you're willing to do that though. The two tables could work. It's just make sure you're not overworking yourself.
Yeah.
That's a lot to take on.
Yeah, they mentioned for clarification they would just be two different two groups on different days. Yeah, because then you just have two groups of 6 and you're fine. That's just
that's
gaming.
much easier.
And saying it's for a bunch of
your shtick.
Yeah, they mentioned it's for a bunch of friends visiting, and I want to run some RPG stuff for them. So I'm going to run a game for about 6 players on day 1, and then day 2 would be the other group. Yeah, if you want to divide it, that's easy. If you want to do a big game, you can. I would also, for the time thing, actual timers. Incarnadine hand out chess timers. Yeah, like you could have essentially a part of your character is the amount of time you can spend actively holding the scene, and like that physically ticks down, and so you like one person cannot hoard it all. It's where your turn, timer starts. What do you do?
If you're fishing for ideas still for what to do, you could have, especially if you have 2 groups coming in on different times, have one just be like the like stereotypical adventuring party, break a lot of things, make big noise, kill bad guy, probably do a lot of collateral damage, and like not really pay attention to the town afterwards. And then you could have the next group that comes in just be like the guild adventurers that what is it? There was a I don't know if y'all seen Below Decks, Star Trek Below Decks.
I love Below Decks.
Yeah, they're not the first contact group. They're the second contact group. Basically, like first contact comes in, like establishes a relation, leaves a good first impression. The second contact group is the actual people that do all of the heavy lifting.
It's like,
and like actually maintain the relationship.
Yeah. Oh, we have to give you a subspace frequency to use for galactic communication.
Yeah.
Oh,
they set up the wireless. Basically.
Yeah, like all of that stuff.
So you could be going in and like having to deal with all the repercussions of that. Like it doesn't have to be like a high level adventure, because like the second like big adventurers leave, like all the bandits are going to come in and try to pick up the scraps, and then like whatever remnants of like whatever evil force they took care of are going to try and like maintain dominion, because now like whatever shattered them is gone. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of like deal with both the after effects of the adventures, and then they could still have like an interesting story, like bandits coming in and like a raided town, that sort of thing. And then they could get the funny aspect of discovering that it was the group that came in before them that fucked everything up.
Would be funny. Oh, another way you could do it. every single person is part of a 2-person character. So like a 2-headed giant, a person and their magic sentient weapon. Like the person and the little fungus that's just growing on their shoulder. Like, so now everybody kind of has to coordinate what they're going to do on their side, and then when it's their turn, they inform you. So that way you could try to pull that off.
Yeah.
That does mean you need 12 people who are okay with that, but weirder things have happened.
Could be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of work. Could be a lot of fun, though.
It could be. Any other things you wanted to add to that, or?
No. That's as long as you've already kind of split. Yeah, I split up into 2 groups. They're coming on different days, and I was also thinking this was like going to be a campaign thing. If this is like one shots, this is actually not nearly as onerous as I thought it was going to be. So this is like a great opportunity to kind of have one story that kind of tease off the next one. So I really like that. I've done stuff like that before, where there's like a cleanup crew effectively that comes in, or even like 100 years later, it's like, oh, there used to be a really nice town here, and then 100 years ago, a great calamity occurred, and then some of the weird things that happened in the first game you can use as almost like lore that kind of gets made larger than life for the second game, and they can laugh about it later when all the group, like all the friends, talk about it.
Yeah, no, I love a long time later aftermath sort of thing. That's really good. So please, on Nuclear, let us know if that answers your question. Ape Escape fan over on Twitch had a question, said, new to D&D and reading is not my strong suit, and I want to utilize my abilities of my class. I've only played a monk for 6 sessions, barbarian for 1 session, a cleric for 1 session, and now I'm playing a rogue. How do I make him last longer than the other 2? I asked for some clarification. The reason that the session numbers are listed is because that's how many sessions before they died. 6, 1, and 1. I
That's
clarified.
brutal.
Yeah, it is. They say it is not a meat grinder campaign. So not everyone else is dying as much as them.
I guess, clarifying question, like, are these like big leaps that you are making that end up like going poorly, like, or is it just like super duper just luck of the dice? You just happen to be the one person that gets critted by the DM in like some battle. The thing with rogues, and I've had people that actually get not even frustrated with me, but get annoyed, is that I like to play ranged rogues. I don't like to get up close and personal. It's actually more effective for me to be at range than it is for me to be in somebody's face. Unless you're playing like a swashbuckler, I just need advantage, which means I just need to hide. So I just bonus action hide, or I'm always kind of like out, like I'm always like when I'm playing a ranged rogue, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna stealth into the room. I'm gonna take cover behind something. So if battle does occur, I'll be like, DM, I am already stealthed.
Yeah.
So then my first shot. So, and then also I do believe that for ranged rules, somebody has to be next to the thing that you're attacking, because you don't have to like worry about flanking necessarily. You just need one person to be near them. So whoever the barbarian's fighting, I'm getting sneak attack damage on. I've done ranged fighters the same. Like I had the highest hit points in my Ravenloft campaign, and I also was the highest damage output. And I got hit. I could probably count on 2 hands, like less than 10 times I got hit, because I was very tactical. I was always at range, and whenever I wasn't at range, I had a couple of abilities that gave me, like shield. I think I had something that gave me shield. And I had some if I was going into melee, I would melee up. I'd put a shield on. I would have, I have some protection spells and some other things I could do. If you want this guy to stick around, depending on the level, rogues are a little fragile at first, but you get uncanny dodge and you get evasion eventually. You can have your damage, which is really good. And I think a lot of times people forget to use that. If it's not big damage, just use it. Like if it's about to be your turn, just use it. Like, because you're gonna get it back again. And yeah, just stop being frontline.
Yeah.
Know when to fall back.
Yeah, if you're playing D&D, rogues get as the bonus, I think it's like level 2, you get the bonus action of hide.
Like, yeah, bonus action hide
Utilize.
and disengage. You can disengage too. People forget about disengaging all the time. I use disengage constantly. It's like, get me out of here. I play a lot of glass canyons or glass cannons. Disengage, hide, set yourself up for success. Like, always be talking about how you're being stealthy. Be paranoid, especially if you've died this many times. Be so paranoid.
Yeah. And you're an Ape Escape fan, you're welcome to add more in the chat if you can. But like, yeah, utilize caution. Extremely important. I wholeheartedly agree. Don't worry about big damage. Wholeheartedly agree. You pop out, you get your shot. Oh, the barbarian did 2d6 plus 10 damage. Awesome. You come out, you get your 1d4 crossbow out, you get your 1d6 damage on it, you get the fuck back in the shadows so you can live to do it again.
Variant human, crossbow expert, hand crossbow. You'll never look back. You'll never look back again. You're going to be able to do action, bonus action. If you miss your action, you get bonus action. You got 2 chances to proc your stealth damage, your sneak attack. If you miss the first one, you don't get to do it twice. But if you miss one, you at least have the other. I don't know how many campaigns I've played that, and then it works. Another thing you can do, I had it was like Rogue 2 Fighter 1, and getting second wind. And then getting like just a little higher dice for HP, it makes you like, especially early levels, gives you a surprising amount of longevity. And then you could always add a second level of fighter and get action surge, so you could pop out even more damage. But I mean, all that's like it slows down you getting to uncanny dodge, but it can be worth it.
Another part of this question that I brought up is how do I utilize my abilities in my class? And I think this might have come up earlier on like remembering all the things you have. And character sheets are remarkably bad at this because there's so much information. If you have abilities, a thing that is very useful is to have them on cards, like they're over there. Little
ability cards.
Post-it notes. Yeah, note cards. You write down your abilities. You can mark whether they're combat related, RP related, both, so you can kind of at a glance see what they are, and have those available. Because have your inventory available. I always will buy the thing that I'm like, in a situation, what I'll need is this exact bizarre thing, and then I will forget I have it because I'm not actively checking my stuff. Write down what's in your inventory, check it, verify stuff. Like, those small notes are helpful. They said the reading is not their strong suit. Shorthand is really good.
Keep shorthand. Like, I tend to refamiliarize myself with my character sheet before I play a game. And it doesn't matter if we played like yesterday or we played like 2 weeks ago, because who knows what I have forgotten in that time frame. So like, I played a Psy, was it a Psy Rogue? I can't remember what they're called. But I hadn't played that character in almost a year. So I went through and just kind of like, what is all the weird stuff that I could do that I have most definitely forgot about? Went through, read them all. I know reading is not your strong suit, but just trying to get a grasp of like something. So at least if at later time you may not remember it, but you're like, do I have something for this? And then you can like make reference of your, like, if you get the cards. One thing I really love about Daggerheart is they have all those like reference cards. It's very tactile, and it's just like, oh, let me shuffle through my deck real quick to see what I can do.
Yes, that's super helpful. Ape Escape fan, does that help? Is that enough to hopefully keep this rogue alive for
a few more sessions? That's brutal. I'm so sorry.
Also, does the GM have a bit of a chip on their shoulder for you? Like, is this a targeted attack?
Is the DM an X, perhaps? Or have you wronged them somehow?
Because there are ways where it's like, yeah, it's bad luck. And then sometimes like, but what if this is malicious?
Yeah, yes. Is this malicious or not? But sometimes it's like that. There was a character, there was one person I've played with that every time I would crit, it just happened to land on their head. Just like, sorry.
Oh,
Never
brutal.
killed them, but it felt bad.
That's funny. So yes, let us know if that answers your question. If not, we will pitch some more ideas for you. Over on Ko-fi, Dice Crown DM, thank you so much for a dono. It says, my campaign ends tonight. How do you celebrate the end of a campaign with your players? First of all, congrats on ending a campaign.
Congrats.
I feel like that is like not, it's like, oh, I want the 40-year campaign. Like just play and let it end when it ends. Like it's okay. So congrats on a campaign end, regardless of length.
Celebrate. I guess outside of game stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on your beverage of choice, gotta get your beverage of choice.
Oh
Gotta
yeah.
get a bev. And then I like a little debrief. Just be like, what does everybody think? Like now that we can see the whole campaign in the back, like what were people's like high points, low points? Like what was your favorite moment? Like what did y'all think of the ending? Like just kind of like living in that space a little while longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then also trying to like I would assume eventually running a campaign for these folks again, figure out more about what they want so you can kind of like pack it more with those cool moments. And
Yes.
because now you set an expectation, now you gotta beat the expectation. Like how do I make the next one even better?
Yep.
That's my thinking.
I do the same thing. Like, yeah, I'm glad that one was good, but now the next one has to be good +1, or else I've failed personally as a human and a storyteller.
Yeah. Everybody loved the first one, but it was actually garbage.
Yeah.
I will do better this time.
I can make it better. I go out to eat or get a
Nice dinner.
smorgasbord of pizza. Like, create a space to celebrate.
Yeah.
That to talk all the
Splurge
things
on some
that you mentioned.
Oreos.
Yeah, get
some
milk and
get
cookies.
some Girl Scout cookies.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing of, if you want, you can just bring everything or set it up like a potluck and be like, hey, everybody, you bring in one thing for everybody to share. One person's bringing the main dish, one person's bringing the Girl Scout cookies, one person's bringing the drinks, like whatever it is, or divide them up between multiple people. But like, yeah, create a space to celebrate. Talk about the stories. Do the stars and wishes thing where it's wow, like that was such a good thing. Have an MVP ceremony. I think that would be fun. Because you said what I do. I usually just eat food and talk because I just had a great time and I'm with friends. So like it's very simple. But yeah, celebrate with food.
Nice.
Always with food.
Yeah, food, always with food. Pizza, a little something nice. Mm-hmm. Go out to eat someplace, go to a bar if y'all are the type to do that.
Yeah.
That's always fun. I had a Pathfinder game where we went to a beer garden that was only like 2 blocks away from the person's apartment. That was a lot of fun. Just be like kind of chit-chatting about what we were doing, get some food, have a beer or two, and then just kind of like get to know people better. It's a lot of fun.
I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
And also, talk about things you want next time. I totally agree with that. And no, what you want to do is when people start talking about, this is how I celebrate. When people start talking about the cool things, be like, wow, that is cool. You gonna run a game?
Yeah.
You gonna run that game? And then get someone else and then become a player for a bit.
Love being a player after a long campaign.
Yes.
It's so nice. And then you get revenge out of your players. I ran what was it? It wasn't Out of the Apocalypse, but it was the Chult one. Tomb of Annihilation. Ran Tomb of Annihilation. That went on for like 4 years. That ended. One of the players decided that they were going to run a Strahd campaign. Another one decided they were going to do Princes of the Apocalypse. that I did not necessarily get my revenge in the Straw game because it was a very serious game, but oh, am I getting my revenge in that Prince of the Apocalypse game? Like every bit of energy that they gave me, because they were like a bit of a trickster. They played a rogue. I'm now playing a rogue, and they made a lot of jokes. And it
Oh.
was all in line with the story. It wasn't like bad stuff, but it's just like, now I get to be a goofball. You fool! You fool! I will outdo you. I've been playing this game for so much longer. So now I'm having my revenge in that game and just playing the most like oddball, like weirdo character that's like just it's it's so good.
That's awesome. Oh, and we got Gary gives 20 A's, whatever kind of dollar that is. Who says still in bed? Scrub back to check. You definitely helped. This is, I think, the very first question that we answered. Had an in real life chat. She's just never role-played ever, so the concept is new, making her a new mini, an action list she came up with, her backstory, and more in Discord. And smiley faces. Excellent. That's
Perfect.
so incredible. I am very glad that that's good answers and that can help her out, and that being new to role-playing is tough.
It's tough. It's really tough. And it's very intimidating. Especially if like there's one newbie with either like experienced players or just like maybe more talkative people that just jump into it. It's super intimidating to be like to be presumed the weakest link at something.
Yeah.
So you just end up kind of clamming up, or like when you do speak, you're like, dang it, I said the wrong thing. I didn't mean to say that, blah blah blah. You get it, you get so in your head.
Yeah.
And it could be a little tough.
Yeah, it takes longer when you are nervous. It takes longer to think about a thing. Like you can't react, and it's a big part of it is reactions.
Exactly.
It's tough. We have so many people had really good questions, but we are out of time for this one. So I'm going to leave them, but we're going to have to
we could try and rapid fire.
How rapid fire can we get? Okay, hang on. Let me. Make sure I'm on the right thing.
If they're even rapid fire.
Well, Awkward GM Corbin said, how do you wrestle with monetizing your hobby by doing stuff like paid GMing or selling community content? I went to school for game design, but my day job isn't game dev related.
Just do it. Just do it. I have no qualm. I know there's some people with qualms about like pay GMing. Don't get on Start Playing. It's a great platform. You don't have to it doesn't mean you start charging your friends like $15 to play with you. It just means like for other people that want the convenience of playing exactly when they want and how they want, they will pay you for it. So just do it. In the same way for any products you make, like content, I made an adventure or two for a couple different games. I did go to itch.io. There is drive-through RPG. Make whatever you're making, post it on there, promote it on social media the best you can. Maybe make money. I've made maybe a couple $100 off of it. It's more for the fun of the game than anything else. So just do it. Don't have qualms about it. Just do it. And if you want it, the best part about itch.io and drive-through, you can make it free. And then people can just donate if they want.
Yeah.
Maybe
pay what you want.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't have qualms about it. It's super normal and cool. You're making a creative product. It's okay to charge people for it if they are also down. You're not forcing anything.
Yeah, and agree. Just go for it. Like, you can set your price. Also, do it. I'm assuming you are doing this for love of the game and not because you want this to be your next career. That's two very different ways to approach this. So yeah, if you want to just do a thing, just do it. Like, it's cool. I totally agree. Don't monetize all your hobbies. I will say that. Like,
keep something for yourself.
Yeah. If you're doing other stuff and this currently is the non-monetized hobby, don't have,
or at least don't do it full hog. Like, do one charged game a week. So like, beer money or fun money or something like that. But keep your home games and everything. Don't like, I can run 5 games a week. I have a friend that does like 12 games a week. It is no
Wow.
longer a hobby. That is job.
Yeah.
They have fun with it, but it is not the same level of enjoyment when it is a thing you have to do.
Right.
So just keep your hobbies, but it's okay to monetize aspects of them.
Mm-hmm. And like, if it stops being, it's okay to experiment. If you do it
Yeah,
and it does suck the fun out of it some, stop. It's okay.
yeah,
You learned. And maybe
exactly.
when your life changes later, you can try it again. Maybe you'll be like, nah, I'm not monetizing that. It's it's a learning situation. Be okay with finding out.
Exactly. 100%. I can't agree more.
Woo!
I don't know how rapid fire that was. Are there
That
any
was
more
that
questions?
was the slowest rapid fire. The gun jammed. We only got like 2 bullets out. But I liked it. If that answers your question, let us know. The Charity Adventures saying, speaking of large player groups from earlier, do you have any insight on running West Marches style games? And do you have any opinions on systems that led themselves well to a multi-table single timeline game?
West Marches is incredibly hard. West Marches, I almost think it is not a single person job. You need to like think
Mm.
about basically having other people to help you. And that's my quickest answer is like find some other people, basically what is it? Admins effectively. Like they don't necessarily make all the big choices, but like if somebody has a question and you're at your 9 to 5, that person isn't gonna want to wait 9 hours or whatever until you get home. So have other people that are maybe online that can like answer questions for them, or be like, oh, this is what happens after a roll. Diffuse responsibility is my rapid fire answer.
Yeah, I think that's a very big, is if you're doing a big thing like that, yeah, try to delegate. Like make it a table operation. Also, another way to make it a table operation, make round robin DMs. Like if you're going to play, everybody's got to DM something. And so everybody gets a break.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do.
And especially in a setup like that, where if people aren't familiar with West Marshes, where it's like basically your like bulletin board of here are possible adventures, and you pick one and you go on that adventure. And so
Yeah.
very easy to have a different person run something because it's a completely different thing. The only thing that's the same is that it's in this world. But hey, you can do all sorts of stuff. It's fantasy world. You can go wild.
Yeah. Especially like if you have like a really big group, like more than 12, basically have, because a lot of things in West March is like, oh, me and these 4 other people of the group are going to go do this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Have somebody that's not in that group be like a proctor, effectively, like that. If you don't answer a question, or whoever like the DM is doesn't answer a question within like a certain time period, they can like facilitate, or you can give responsibility to them, or they can just run the adventure wholesale. That makes it so much easier.
Yeah, totally. If that answers your question, let us know. If not, we'll try again. Peter Parker, SL, wanted to know at work, but had a question. Is an isekai character an acceptable character to play in a TTRPG? I want to join an online game, and I want to play myself dropped into the world game. I think isekai, absolutely. Yourself,
Yeah.
I would be more inclined to be like, make a character. Don't make yourself.
Definitely, if make sure that the person running the game is okay with it.
Oh,
Make
also
sure that
that, yeah,
everybody else that's playing it is okay with it. Because if you're playing with a bunch of like drama nerds that are having like a high expectation of like something very dramatic and
right.
serious and real, and then you're like, well, I am Chad from Gary, Indiana, who has been isekai'd into the Forgotten Realms, and somehow I can do magic now.
Right.
They might not love that. So
Yeah.
just make sure it's clear with everybody. I love an isekai character. I actually think that's an easy way to get into it, because you can effectively just play a version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like an idealized, interesting version of like, I mean, just you not saying that you're not interesting, but just making like your abilities more pronounced.
Yeah.
And like you're smarter than you are, or you're like stronger than you are, like the classic trope of like kind of buff, like a Mary Sue even, that you can explore. So do that. I've told people that that's an easy way to get into D&D. Just play a version of yourself that doesn't necessarily isekai, but just like dropped into this place that you kind of know what's going on, but like just be yourself in this situation.
Yeah. It does make it a little easier of that, like, this is weird and I can react like it's weird because I'm from a world where this would be weird. But yeah, as you're saying, Lord of the Rings, not the best setting for an isekai. Monty Python, you could absolutely be an isekai. It very much depends on the tone of the game. So
yeah. Tone is everything. You don't want to squash the tone for everybody else and then it just be about your isekai adventure.
Yeah. Except you got put into, I got isekai into the world and I'm not the main character. And then that's your character. If that answers your question, let us know. If not, we'll try again. One last question before we go. Squirrel Squad 420 said, how about the opposite of a large group? What if you have a group of 2 people? What can you do to keep it balanced and interesting without large group dynamics? Do you have a lot of experience with like solo, or not solo, but like 2 and 3 people RPGs? Yeah.
I love so that's a thing that I do in some of my campaigns. I will do solos, like especially to figure out people's characters and like what they want to do amongst other things. Like if they're back in the city, I don't necessarily do it like when they're on an adventure, but back in the city, I love to do a one-on-one. It is so much fun because they have like the complete reins. They get to be the absolute hero of the situation. You get to do like effectively like hero building around them and make them feel super important. It's a lot of fun. And you don't even have to do that much stuff. You can either like power them up a little bit via a bunch of different ways. You can give them a little bit, better weapons or better armor, or just be a little cushier on the rules. But you can run very similarly any game. It's just, you need to make sure that the 2 people that you're playing with are 100% okay spending a lot of time with each other. If they are in personal conflict, obviously it's not going to work out because there's no buffer besides you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have a lot of experience with like small or solo games?
I've had some because the Thursday night group is we're a total of 5, and sometimes 2 people can't make it. So like it's a GM and 2 players. And I think one of the things that the GM does really well in that is when it's only 2 of us, and giving a scenario in which something is going to force us to play off each other and coordinate with each other. Like whatever that adventure for the day is very personal, not necessarily like, oh, it involves our families meeting for the first time or whatever, but like that something happens where we have to coordinate this. It matters to the 2 characters. And that's led to
you can really press on that with only 2 characters. Like everything can be about just the 2 of you.
And also that things don't necessarily scale, like in the superhero game where it's like, oh, we want to investigate this, but we're half the team. Like knowing that like, oh, this isn't us at full force. We need to be more careful. We need to be smarter. We cannot just dive in being heroic as we normally would because we've got the weight of everyone behind us, where it's me, the 2 characters from like the last time we did this, my character who has no superpowers, but is a pharmacist dropout student, who just uses chemicals on people. And the other person who is basically a villain doing volunteer service. Yeah. Because like they got caught and like, we're not the beefcake and the other person with powers. Like we're the brains and a bit of a glass cannon and healer. And it's like, we're not like, we got to be smart about going into this and like how we can play off each other. And like how, another thing is just not necessarily always the situation on the outside, but like what we think about each other, what we think about a situation and how we interact with each other, and like giving an environment for that. And as a DM, helping nurture that kind of play between 2 people.
Yeah. It's a ton of fun. The one thing I will say not to do is that you will get the impulse, be like, oh, it'd be easier if I just give them some NPCs. Like or do a DMPC, which if you're not familiar is basically you are playing a character while running a game. Don't do it. It is a trap. The more NPCs you run is more work for you, and then you are constantly like you're running a DMPC and then all the other NPCs that they're going after. Combat, you are playing against yourself. How can you be fair? And it is going to be really hard to make them feel extremely special in these moments when you've got like effectively a vessel of God that can intervene at any point to like save them or something like that. So don't avoid using NPCs and DMPCs. If the characters want to run additional like characters, that's also a way to get through that. They can almost be faceless, nameless, like attaches or whatever, mercenaries, just so if you're really worried about them like dying in combat or something, or if they're playing characters that have a very narrow skill set, like if one's a barbarian, the other one's a fighter, they don't have any healing, they don't have any like real investigatory powers, they don't have any charisma. You could give them some other like people to encapsulate and play and maybe even build out into their own stuff. That's fine. Just don't you do it, because then you're gonna end up talking to yourself, you're gonna end up fighting yourself, and you're gonna end up stealing the spotlight a lot more than you realize. So if you're gonna include extra characters, make them PCs.
Yeah, I feel like that's really good advice, because you want that as part of the like 2-player thing of you want them to interact with each other. Like that's a big part of the fun. And then when they interact with you as the DM, it's your world. It's these specific characters. It's a situation that they are trying to put themselves in, or a fun, haha, this happened, boom, that you get to throw them into and then watch them react to it. But yeah, I agree. I feel like it is a bit of a trap to try and like pad it out with yourself.
So I saw on Nuclear, you disagree with no hirelings. And that's, I'm on the fence about hirelings. I just think hirelings are kind of different than like a NPC. It's like hireling is a very narrow, like kind of like they do a thing. Like if I'm hiring a mercenary, they're not there to like really, they're there for a job. They're not going to like talk my ear off necessarily unless that's the character. And they're definitely not going to like, talk to a king for me. That mercenary will never steal spotlight. They're like foundational. They do a task, which is like do damage or guard a thing that I don't want to deal with. So there's like a fine line between like a DM running an NPC and like a DMPC versus like hireling. Hireling is like on the bottom of that line. But I would also just be careful with the number of you do as well, because it's just I did an Out of the Abyss thing where there was like 10 different NPCs constantly working with the party and had mechanics where their role play would make the NPCs better. I ended up talking to myself so much. And it really, like, it doesn't seem like it's that draining. And you don't like, but there's a moment when you've been speaking to yourself for like 2 or 3 minutes straight and you realize everybody is staring at you. And it's like, this is not moving the story forward, nor is anybody else but myself having fun. And I'm barely having fun. So it's like you gotta make sure that the players are the ones doing stuff, or at least back and forth with you, because it just becomes weird when you have a lot of NPCs that you're having to manage.
100% agree with that. Okay, I think that's all of our questions, so we'll call it there. This was delightful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was a ton of fun. We'll have to do this again.
I'm happy to have you back. You were fun the first time. You were fun the second time. I don't think it's going to be different the third time. I think it'll still be a hoot.
Third time is the real RUN-DMG comes out.
Oh,
real
no!
monster.
Coming out with hot political opinions and no.
I'm going to don my red hat and start talking about how we're winning so much.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that just hurt my soul. Oh. Yeah. Anything you want to say to all these lovely folks? All the lovely folks, thank you for coming out. Anything you want to say to them before we go?
Yeah, no, just thank you so much for being for all your questions and being so great in the comments and everything. And other than that, just when you have a chance, look into Free RPG Day. and look into Doctors Without Borders. Big drive happening basically tomorrow because it's starting on May 1st, I think. There's no 31 days in April. So it's starting tomorrow. There's going to be some streams happening. There's going to be some events happening all through the months of May and June. Good, amazing opportunities to get some free RPGs and see some really cool stuff and help people literally across the globe. Doctors Without Borders does an incredible amount of work basically everywhere you can imagine, even in the United States. So if you have an opportunity, go check it out.
Awesome. Please do that. I will see all of you around here and on Saturday when Adventures Night Season 5 premieres. Whoop, I'm pretty sure that's Saturday. So yeah, I'll be out next week unless somebody else wants to take over the stream. But I'll see you guys around Discord in 2 weeks, I guess. Bye.
See ya.